In the late 19th century, European empires were dividing Africa among themselves. Kingdom after kingdom fell under colonial rule, and many believed that Africa would soon belong entirely to Europe. But deep within the mountains of East Africa, one kingdom refused to surrender. One army prepared to fight back, and one battle would shock the entire world. This is the story of Ethiopia, the African kingdom that defeated a European empire. Welcome to Kingdoms and Secrets, where every kingdom has a secret. The year was 1896. Across Africa, European nations were aggressively expanding their colonial territories. Britain controlled vast lands. France expanded rapidly across West Africa. Portugal tightened its grip along the coasts. And Italy, a rising European power, wanted an empire of its own. Its target was Ethiopia. At the time, Ethiopia stood as one of the few independent African kingdoms left untouched by European colonization. Ruled by Emperor Menelik II, the kingdom possessed a proud history, strong traditions, and a fierce determination to remain free. But Italy believed Ethiopia would fall easily. They underestimated their enemy. Years earlier, Italy had signed a treaty with Ethiopia known as the Treaty of Wuchale, but hidden within the treaty was a dangerous deception. The Italian version claimed Ethiopia had agreed to become a protectorate of Italy. The Ethiopian version said something entirely different. When Emperor Menelik discovered the manipulation, anger spread throughout the kingdom. Italy believed diplomacy had given them control, but Ethiopia refused to accept foreign domination. Tensions rose rapidly. War became unavoidable. As news of invasion spread across Ethiopia, something remarkable happened. People from different regions united together. Warriors gathered from villages and cities. Nobles assembled armies. Farmers left their homes to defend their kingdom. Men and women prepared for war. This was no longer just a battle for territory. It was a battle for freedom. Emperor Menelik II understood the danger facing his people. Unlike many African rulers who lacked modern weapons, Menelik had spent years preparing Ethiopia for conflict. He purchased rifles and artillery from foreign nations, strengthened alliances, and organized one of the largest African armies of the era. By the time Italian forces advanced deeper into Ethiopian territory, they were not facing a weak kingdom. They were facing a united nation. Meanwhile, Italian commanders remained confident. European armies had defeated many African kingdoms before. Their weapons were modern. Their soldiers were trained. And they believed victory was certain. But they failed to understand Ethiopia's terrain, leadership, and determination. As Italian troops marched toward the town of Adwa, Ethiopian forces prepared carefully. Thousands of warriors moved through mountains and valleys. The air grew tense. The fate of a nation rested upon the coming battle. Then, on March 1st, 1896, the Battle of Adwa began. What followed would become one of the greatest military victories in African history. Italian forces attempted to advance through difficult mountain terrain during the night, but confusion spread among their troops. Units became separated. Communication failed, and Ethiopian scouts quickly detected their movements. At sunrise, the mountains erupted with battle. Thousands of Ethiopian warriors charged forward with incredible force. Gunfire echoed through the valleys. Cannons thundered across the hills. The battlefield became chaos. Italian soldiers suddenly realized they were heavily outnumbered. Wave after wave of Ethiopian fighters attacked from multiple directions. The resistance was fierce, and the determination of the Ethiopian army shocked European commanders. Emperor Menelik II and Empress Taitu played critical roles during the battle. While Menelik directed military strategy, Empress Taitu organized support forces and inspired resistance among the fighters. Together they became symbols of Ethiopian unity and courage. As the battle intensified, Ethiopian forces surrounded sections of the Italian army. Many Italian troops panicked. Others attempted retreat, but the Ethiopian advance continued relentlessly. By the end of the battle, Italy suffered a devastating defeat. Thousands of soldiers were killed, captured, or forced to flee. The invading army collapsed, and Ethiopia remained free. News of the victory spread rapidly across the world. Europe was stunned. Many colonial powers had believed African kingdoms could never defeat a modern European army in direct battle. But Ethiopia had shattered that belief. The Battle of Adwa became more than a military victory. It became a symbol of resistance, pride, and independence across Africa and beyond. For millions of Africans living under colonial rule, Ethiopia's victory inspired hope. It proved that European empires were not invincible. And for black communities around the world, Ethiopia became a powerful symbol of freedom and strength. But victory came with sacrifice. Thousands of Ethiopian fighters lost their lives defending their homeland. Families were torn apart by war. Yet despite the cost, Ethiopia had achieved something extraordinary. While much of Africa fell under foreign rule, Ethiopia stood unconquered. The legacy of Adwa still lives on today. When powerful empires tried to conquer Africa, one kingdom stood and fought back. It won, and against all expectations. Subscribe to Kingdoms and Secrets because every kingdom has a secret.